Have you ever wondered why your feet sometimes feel numb, tingly, or cold, no matter the weather, the shoes you wear, or how much you try to keep them warm? If so, you're not alone. For many seniors, this strange, unsettling sensation becomes part of daily life, quietly accepted as just another sign of aging. Some blame poor circulation, others think it's arthritis, or simply the price we pay for growing older. But what if the root of the problem isn't just age? What if it's something far more ordinary, something sitting right on your dinner plate? The truth is, even the healthiest foods can become harmful when paired incorrectly. Take nuts, for example, widely praised for being heart smart, full of good fats, fiber, and antioxidants. They seem like the perfect snack. But as we age, our bodies no longer process food the way they once did. Our digestion slows, our circulation weakens, and the sensitivity of our nerves changes. When we combine nuts with certain other common foods, something unexpected happens. They can trigger inflammation, spike blood sugar, and slow down circulation, creating the perfect storm that leads to increased foot numbness and nerve pain. This isn't just a matter of discomfort. For seniors, it can mean the difference between walking steadily or risking a dangerous fall. It can mean missing the warning signs of a cut or sore that won't heal. It's not just about feeling, it's about safety, independence, and quality of life. That's why it's so important to look more closely at what we're eating, and more importantly, how we're combining the foods we trust. Because some combinations, while familiar, may be quietly harming our health in ways we never expected. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. The hidden danger of pairing nuts with sugary cereals, a risky start to your day. It seems like a harmless way to start your day, sprinkling a handful of almonds or walnuts onto a bowl of cereal. For many older adults, it's part of a routine that feels familiar, even healthy. After all, nuts are known for their heart-protective fats, and cereals often carry labels promising fiber or whole grains. But for seniors, especially those over 60, this combination can quietly work against you, turning a simple breakfast into a hidden trigger for foot numbness and nerve discomfort. Here's why. Sugary cereals, whether they're boxed brands or healthier granolas, cause rapid spikes in blood sugar. Your body responds by flooding your system with insulin, which over time wears down your nerve linings, especially in areas furthest from the heart, your feet. Now, add in the fats and compounds from nuts. Though nutritious on their own, these fats slow digestion when paired with sugar. This creates a longer window where elevated glucose quietly damages your nerves, particularly the tiny, fragile fibers in your feet. What does this feel like? A tingling that won't go away, a dullness in your toes, a strange sensation like walking on cotton or gravel. Many seniors dismiss this as just aging, but in reality, it's a silent form of peripheral neuropathy, a warning sign that your nerves are inflamed, struggling, and possibly being damaged with each passing day. What's worse, these symptoms don't always appear right away. Sometimes it takes weeks or months of this breakfast routine before numbness becomes obvious. But once nerve damage sets in, it's difficult to reverse. That's why catching it early and knowing what food habits may be triggering it is crucial. If you've been dealing with unexplained tingling, pins and needles, or that dead foot feeling, your morning bowl might be more dangerous than it looks. And if you think that's surprising, wait until you learn how pairing nuts with certain meats, like bacon or sausage, can take the danger even further. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. When nuts meet processed meats, a recipe for silent nerve damage. For many seniors, enjoying a few nuts alongside slices of deli meat, sausage, or bacon might seem like a satisfying snack or an easy protein-packed lunch. It's familiar, it's flavorful, and for those trying to avoid sugary foods, it might even feel like the smarter option. But the truth is far more sobering. This combination, nuts and processed meats, may be silently undermining your nerve health, especially in your feet, where the earliest signs of damage often begin. Here's what happens inside your body. Processed meats are loaded with sodium, preservatives like nitrates, and often hidden sugars. These compounds inflame the blood vessels and make them less elastic, narrowing the path your blood must take to reach the tiniest capillaries, those in your toes and feet. At the same time, nuts, while healthy in moderation, are high in fats that require strong circulation to be properly digested and absorbed. When your body is older, your circulation isn't what it used to be. Add high sodium meats to the mix, and the blood flow slows even more. The result? Less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach your peripheral nerves. Over time, this weakens the nerve's ability to send signals clearly, causing sensations of tingling, burning, or complete numbness in the feet. You might begin to notice you're stumbling more, or that your toes feel asleep for longer stretches of the day. These aren't just passing annoyances. They are warnings, whispers from your nervous system that damage is happening beneath the surface. Even more alarming is how frequently this combo shows up in day-to-day life. From cheese and meat trays at social gatherings to peanut butter on salty crackers with ham slices, these patterns are deeply ingrained in our habits. But while they may feel harmless, for a senior living with diabetes, hypertension, or even just slower circulation, they can accelerate nerve breakdown faster than you realize. So before you reach for that handful of nuts and slice of turkey, pause and consider what your body might be trying to tell you. And speaking of common habits with hidden dangers, what happens when you mix nuts with everyday carbs like white bread or pastries? The truth may be even more damaging than you think. 3. Nuts and white carbs, a hidden trigger for tingling feet. We all crave comfort, especially as we age. A slice of white toast with peanut butter, a cracker topped with nut butter, a warm pastry enjoyed with a cup of tea. These small pleasures feel harmless, even nourishing. But when you're over 60, combining nuts with refined carbohydrates like white bread, crackers, or pastries can quietly stir up a storm within your body that your feet will feel first. Here's why this pairing is so dangerous. Refined carbs are quickly broken down into glucose, causing sudden spikes in blood sugar. When you add nuts into the mix, foods high in fats and sometimes sugars, the digestive process slows just enough to keep that sugar in your bloodstream longer. For aging nerves, especially those in the feet and legs, this means prolonged exposure to toxic glucose levels. Over time, this damages the protective coating around your nerves, the myelin sheath, leading to misfiring signals, numbness, and even chronic pain. And it doesn't always take years. For seniors with prediabetes or mild insulin resistance, these combinations can lead to noticeable symptoms in just a few weeks. You might begin to feel a strange buzzing at night, a coldness in your toes that socks can't fix, or a pins and needles sensation that comes and goes. These are the early signs of peripheral neuropathy, a condition that begins subtly but can grow more serious if left unchecked. What makes this particularly troubling is that this food combo is deeply woven into our routines. A peanut butter sandwich on white bread, a biscuit with almond butter. These are staples many of us grew up with, but our bodies at 65 or 70 are not the same as they were at 25. The tolerance for these blood sugar swings has diminished, and the price we pay is often felt with every step. The good news? Awareness changes everything. Once we see the pattern, we can start making small shifts, like swapping white bread for whole grains or choosing nuts with high fiber fruits instead. And as you reflect on your own meals, there's another pairing to reconsider, one that may surprise you. What happens when nuts are mixed with alcohol? The consequences may be more dangerous than you've imagined. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Mixing nuts with alcohol. A quiet threat to your nerve health. A small glass of wine, a sip of bourbon, or a beer with friends. These are simple pleasures many older adults enjoy in moderation. Add a bowl of mixed nuts to the table, and it feels like a balanced moment of indulgence. But beneath that comfort lies a dangerous truth. The combination of alcohol and nuts may silently worsen nerve problems, especially numbness in your feet. The danger starts with alcohol's effect on your nervous system. Even small amounts can deplete essential nutrients like vitamin B1, thiamine, a critical vitamin that supports healthy nerve function. As we age, our bodies already struggle to absorb these vitamins efficiently. When alcohol is introduced, that struggle becomes even harder. Pair that with nuts, foods rich in fat that slow the liver's ability to process alcohol, and the result is prolonged alcohol exposure inside your body, increasing its toxic effects on your nerves. Over time, this interaction can damage the small sensitive nerves in your extremities. That's why so many seniors begin to notice a creeping numbness, a buzzing in their feet, or a sense that they've lost connection with the ground. For some, this starts subtly, like a sensation of walking on sponge or cold tiles. For others, it becomes a burning, tingling discomfort that disrupts sleep and limits daily mobility. The risk is even higher if you drink regularly, even in moderation. Alcohol's effect on the nervous system is cumulative, and when paired repeatedly with fatty foods like nuts, it slows detoxification, allowing nerve-damaging byproducts to circulate longer. What feels like a relaxing evening snack can become a repeated assault on your nervous system. This doesn't mean giving up every drink or every nut forever, but it does mean becoming aware of how these combinations affect your aging body. Your nerves are more vulnerable than ever, and protecting them begins with conscious choices. And speaking of surprising combinations, did you know that some of the healthiest vegetables can also become dangerous when paired with nuts? What happens when oxalates from leafy greens meet the compounds in nuts may truly surprise you. 5. When nuts combine with oxalate-rich foods, a risk hiding in healthy choices. We've been told our whole lives to eat more greens, spinach, beets, Swiss chard, even rhubarb. These foods are rich in nutrients and often recommended for heart health, digestion, and even cancer prevention. And of course, nuts are praised just as highly. So it may seem logical to blend them into a single health-boosting meal. A spinach salad with walnuts, a beet smoothie with almond butter. But here's the unsettling truth. When nuts are paired with oxalate-rich vegetables, they can quietly contribute to nerve pain and numbness, especially in your feet. Both nuts and these vegetables are high in oxalates, naturally occurring compounds that, in large amounts, can bind to calcium and form crystals in the body. For older adults, especially those with slower kidney function or a history of kidney stones, this buildup can be dangerous. What many don't realize is that these microscopic oxalate crystals don't just stay in the kidneys. They can travel through the bloodstream and accumulate in small blood vessels and nerves, particularly in the extremities. The nerves in your feet and toes are among the most fragile. When blood flow is compromised or nerve tissue becomes inflamed, symptoms begin slowly. First, a dull tingling, then coldness, stiffness, or a feeling like you're stepping on gravel. Over time, this can develop into full-blown peripheral neuropathy, a condition that steals not only comfort, but mobility, independence, and even safety. Falls become more likely. Cuts and wounds go unnoticed. Healing slows. What makes this combination even more deceptive is its healthy disguise. Many seniors proudly eat more greens and nuts as part of a conscious diet, yet still find their symptoms worsening, unaware of the chemical interaction taking place. But there is hope in awareness. Choosing lower oxalate vegetables, moderating nut intake, and ensuring proper hydration can all help reduce risk. And as we continue exploring, there's still one more familiar pairing to examine, one that feels warm, comforting, and nostalgic, but may carry a risk far greater than expected. What really happens when nuts are combined with dairy? The answer may surprise even the most health-conscious senior. 6. Nuts and dairy, a heavy combination that may quietly numb your feet. There's something comforting about the familiar pairing of nuts and dairy. A few slices of cheese with almonds in the afternoon, a scoop of cottage cheese with walnuts before bed, even a creamy dessert with crushed pecans can feel like a satisfying protein-rich choice, especially for those trying to avoid sugar. But beneath that sense of comfort lies a risk few seniors are ever warned about. The combination of nuts and full-fat dairy can silently contribute to the numbness, stiffness, and nerve pain so many older adults experience in their feet. As we age, digestion becomes more delicate. The body processes fats more slowly, and circulation, especially to the lower limbs, can weaken. When nuts and dairy are eaten together, they create a dense, high-fat load that's difficult for an aging digestive system to manage efficiently. That heaviness doesn't just sit in the stomach, it affects the entire body, slowing blood flow and triggering low-grade inflammation that can reach the fragile nerves in your feet and toes. Moreover, full-fat dairy products, cheese, cream, and whole milk are known to raise cholesterol levels and can contribute to the buildup of plaque in blood vessels. When these vessels narrow, less oxygen-rich blood reaches your extremities. The nerves, starved of proper circulation, begin to falter. Signals slow down. You start to feel numbness, or maybe a subtle coldness in your feet that never quite goes away. For many, it's written off as age. But in truth, it's often a signal that your nerves are struggling and that your food choices are playing a role. Even worse, many seniors experience a degree of lactose sensitivity without realizing it. This hidden intolerance can cause silent inflammation, which only adds fuel to the fire when combined with inflammatory compounds found in certain nuts. Still, it's not about fear, it's about awareness. Once you begin to understand how food combinations impact your nerves, you gain the power to protect them. And now that you've seen how even healthy pairings can cause harm, perhaps it's time to rethink your everyday habits, because numbness isn't just a symptom, it's a signal. And listening to it can be the first step toward healing, comfort, and freedom in your later years. What can you do today? A gentle path toward healing and prevention. If you've made it this far, you've already taken an important step: awareness. And that, more than anything, is where change begins. It's easy to feel overwhelmed after learning how everyday choices like eating nuts with bread, cheese, or processed meats can quietly affect your nerve health. But this isn't a call for fear. It's a call for gentle, mindful adjustment. And the good news is, it's never too late to begin. Start by listening more closely to your body. If your feet feel numb after certain meals, don't dismiss it as just aging. That discomfort may be your body's way of whispering a warning. Reflect on your daily habits, not just what you eat, but how you combine foods, how often you hydrate, and how much movement you're giving your legs and feet. These small details matter deeply. Focus on simple swaps. Choose high-fiber fruits or leafy greens low in oxalates when eating nuts. Trade sugary cereals for whole grain oats or plain yogurt. Be mindful with dairy. Opt for lighter, lactose-free options if you've noticed bloating or heaviness. And when it comes to alcohol, savor it sparingly, knowing your nervous system needs all the support it can get. Your nerves also depend on vital nutrients like vitamin B12, magnesium, and healthy omega-3 fats. Ask your doctor to check your levels. Many seniors are deficient without even knowing. Supplements, when used correctly, can support the body's healing process and ease symptoms of numbness over time. But perhaps most importantly, grant yourself grace. These changes don't have to be overwhelming or drastic. They can start with a single meal, a single moment of choosing differently, with compassion for the body that has carried you through so many seasons. Let your food become part of your healing, not your harm. Let each choice become an act of protection for your nerves, your balance, your independence. And as you move forward with new awareness, remember this: small changes made consistently often bring the greatest transformation in the years that matter most. Conclusion: protecting the feet that carry us through life. As someone who has walked many miles through life, through change, hardship, joy, and wisdom, I've come to understand one thing very clearly. The body speaks softly at first. A gentle ache, a numb toe, a slight stumble. These aren't just random signs of getting older. They are messages, subtle but important, asking us to pause, to listen, and to care in a deeper way. Numbness in the feet is one of those whispers. It may begin as a mild inconvenience, a sensation you brush off, but over time, it can grow into something more serious, something that affects your confidence, your movement, even your independence. And while we often blame age, genetics, or chronic conditions, we rarely stop to ask how much of it might be caused or worsened by what we eat, especially by how we combine the foods we eat. I've seen too many friends ignore those early signs. They walked less, then they stopped walking altogether. And they never knew that their daily food choices, the comfort foods, the snacks they trusted, were quietly damaging the nerves in their feet, meal after meal. That's why this message matters so deeply to me. Because now you know. You've seen how something as innocent as a bowl of cereal with nuts or a slice of cheese with almonds can become a hidden trigger for nerve damage. Not because those foods are bad, but because together they can create inflammation, disrupt circulation, and strain a body that needs more care, not more stress. But this isn't about fear. It's about power. You have more influence over your health than you may have ever been told. You can choose meals that heal, that support your nerves, that keep your feet warm, strong, and steady. You can ask questions, make changes, and reclaim the energy that belongs to you, one thoughtful choice at a time. I believe with every fiber of my being that growing older is not about fading. It's about refining, about becoming sharper in wisdom, softer in grace, and stronger in the quiet ways that matter most. And part of that strength comes from taking your body's signals seriously, no matter how small. So as you move forward, I encourage you, don't just walk through your golden years. Walk wisely, walk fully, and walk without pain, because the path ahead still has beauty waiting, and your feet were made to carry you there. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.